Repetitive motion injuries can develop slowly but still cause serious problems for workers in Wagoner County. Unlike sudden falls, lifting accidents, or equipment injuries, repetitive motion injuries usually develop over time. A worker may initially experience minor pain, continue working, and eventually develop symptoms that interfere with the ability to perform job duties. Oklahoma workers' compensation law may cover repetitive motion injuries when the injury arises out of and occurs in the course of employment. These are referred to as cumulative trauma claims because the injury results from repeated physical activity rather than one accident. What is a repetitive motion injury? A repetitive motion injury is an injury caused by repeated use of the same body part over time. These injuries may affect the hands, wrists, elbows, shoulders, neck, back, knees, or other parts of the body. The injury may be caused by repeated gripping, lifting, bending, reaching, typing, pushing, pulling, twisting, kneeling, or using vibrating tools. Common repetitive motion conditions may include carpal tunnel syndrome, tendonitis, bursitis, cubital tunnel syndrome, trigger finger, rotator cuff problems, neck strain, back problems, knee problems, and other overuse injuries. What jobs can cause repetitive motion injuries? Repetitive motion injuries can occur in many types of work. In Wagoner County, these claims may involve factory workers, warehouse workers, mechanics, truck drivers, healthcare workers, construction workers, office employees, retail workers, food service employees, equipment operators, oil and gas workers, and agricultural workers. The type of job is not the only issue. The important question is whether the worker's regular job duties required repeated physical activity that caused or contributed to the injury. How repetitive motion claims are different from single accident claims. A single accident workers' compensation claim usually has a clear date of injury. For example, a worker may fall, lift something heavy, get struck by equipment, or suffer an immediate injury during a specific event. A repetitive motion claim is different because the injury develops over time. The worker may not know the exact day the injury began. Symptoms may start gradually and become worse after weeks, months, or years of repeated work activity. Because these claims do not always involve one obvious accident, employers and insurance companies may dispute them more aggressively. Medical evidence is important. Medical evidence is critical in repetitive motion claims. A worker needs medical documentation connecting the condition to the job duties. The doctor may consider the worker's job description, physical tasks, frequency of movement, duration of activity, diagnostic testing, symptoms, medical history, and whether other non-work causes exist. For example, a worker claiming carpal tunnel syndrome may need nerve testing. A worker with shoulder pain may need imaging or an orthopedic evaluation. A worker with neck or back symptoms may need diagnostic studies, physical therapy records, or specialist review. The stronger the medical connection between the work activity and the injury, the stronger the claim usually becomes. Reporting the injury. A worker should report symptoms to the employer as soon as the worker believes the condition is related to work. Waiting too long can create problems. The employer or insurance company may argue that the injury was not work-related, that the worker failed to give proper notice, or that the condition came from activities outside the job. Oklahoma employee guidance explains that job-related injuries should be reported to a supervisor as soon as possible, and notes that repeated trauma claims have specific notice rules tied to separation from employment. Filing a workers' compensation claim. Reporting the injury to the employer is not always the same thing as filing a formal workers' compensation claim. A worker may need to file the proper paperwork with the Oklahoma Workers' Compensation Commission. The commission identifies CC Form 3 as the employee's first notice of claim for compensation. The claim form should identify the injured worker, employer, body parts injured, date or period of injury, and how the repetitive work activity caused the condition. Because cumulative trauma claims can be more complicated than sudden accident claims, it is important to describe the repetitive work duties clearly. Common disputes in repetitive motion claims. Employers and insurance carriers may dispute repetitive motion claims for several reasons. They may argue that the condition is caused by aging, arthritis, hobbies, prior injuries, diabetes, obesity, home activities, sports, or another non-work factor. They may also argue that the worker's job duties were not repetitive enough to cause the injury. The defense of the claim often depends on the medical evidence and the details of the job. A worker's testimony, co-worker statements, job descriptions, production records, ergonomic evaluations, medical records, and diagnostic testing may all become important. Benefits that may be available. If a repetitive motion injury is accepted or proven, workers' compensation may provide medical treatment. This may include doctor visits, diagnostic testing, medication, braces, injections, physical therapy, specialist treatment, or surgery. If the injury prevents the worker from performing job duties, temporary disability benefits may be available. After the worker reaches maximum medical improvement, the worker may also be evaluated for permanent impairment if the condition caused lasting damage. Do not ignore gradual symptoms. Many workers ignore repetitive motion symptoms because they believe the pain is minor or part of the job. That can be a mistake. What begins as numbness, tingling, soreness, weakness, stiffness, or swelling may become a more serious condition if the worker continues performing the same tasks without treatment. Early reporting and treatment can help protect both the worker's health and the legal claim. Repetitive motion injuries under workers' comp can be difficult because they often develop gradually and are frequently disputed. These claims require careful attention to medical evidence, job duties, notice, filing deadlines, and whether the work activity caused the injury.